What if I told you that everything you've been taught about building wealth is wrong? Imagine discovering that someone who went from broke immigrant to tech billionaire has been sharing the exact blueprint for wealth and happiness for years. And almost nobody noticed. Until now. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the most powerful insights from Naval Ravikant that could completely transform your life. And fair warning, once you understand these principles, you'll never see the world the same way again. 3 years ago, I was working 70-hour weeks at a job I hated, drowning in debt, and wondering how some people seemed to build wealth so effortlessly while I was stuck on the hamster wheel. Then I discovered Naval's wisdom hidden in plain sight across hundreds of tweets and podcast episodes. What I learned changed everything. And I've spent the last year distilling his most life-changing ideas into what you're about to hear. But first, let me ask you something that might feel uncomfortable. What if the way you're currently pursuing wealth is actually keeping you poor? What if you're optimizing for the wrong things entirely? Naval says something shocking. You're not going to get rich renting out your time. Think about that. Most of us have been programmed from childhood to believe that working harder at our jobs is the path to wealth. But look around. How many truly wealthy people built their fortunes working for someone else's company, trading hours for dollars? The truth is unsettling. Period. You cannot build significant wealth by simply working harder or longer at a salaried job. Not in today's world. The math simply doesn't work. Here's what Naval discovered instead. You will get rich by giving society what it wants, but does not yet know how to get. At scale. This single insight separates the ultra-wealthy from everyone else. While most people are trying to climb predefined ladders, the truly wealthy are creating entirely new games. Now, before I reveal exactly how to apply this principle to your own life, let me address the question I know you're thinking. Is this really possible for someone like me? The answer will surprise you, because Naval's path to wealth doesn't require genius-level intelligence, special connections, or even starting with money. What it does require is something far more accessible, specific knowledge that only you possess, combined with leverage that amplifies your efforts and judgment that helps you make the right decisions. Let's break this down, because understanding this framework is like finding the combination to a vault filled with opportunity. Specific knowledge isn't what you learned in school. It's not general expertise anyone can acquire through books or courses. It's knowledge that can't be taught, but can be learned. Unique insights from your personal experiences, interests, and natural talents. The chef who intuitively understands flavor combinations. The programmer who sees elegant solutions to complex problems. The storyteller who knows exactly how to capture an audience's attention. What makes your specific knowledge so valuable is that it can't be replicated or outsourced. It's built into who you are. And in today's connected world, specific knowledge has never been more valuable. Think about what you're naturally good at. What feels like play to you but looks like work to others. That's where your specific knowledge lives. But specific knowledge alone isn't enough. You need leverage. Tools that multiply your efforts without requiring more time. Naval identifies 3 forms of leverage that are reshaping our world: labor, capital, and products with no marginal cost of replication. Things like software, books, media, or code. Labor and capital have always existed as forms of leverage. You can hire people or invest money to multiply your impact. But the truly revolutionary form of leverage in our digital age is products with zero marginal cost. Create once, distribute infinitely. This is why software engineers, podcasters, and content creators can become so wealthy so quickly. They build something once and distribute it to millions without additional effort. But here's what most people miss. You don't need to code to use this form of leverage. Any knowledge work that can be recorded and distributed falls into this category. And with AI tools making content creation more accessible than ever, the barriers to entry are disappearing. The third piece of this wealth puzzle is judgment, knowing which opportunities to pursue and which to ignore. As Naval puts it, in an age of infinite leverage, judgment becomes the most important skill. Good judgment isn't just making good decisions. It's having a clear understanding of how the world works and where it's headed. It's developing mental models that help you see opportunities others miss. Now let's address something critical. This path requires you to take true ownership of your life and career. There's no boss telling you what to do, no curriculum to follow, no clear path. This freedom is both liberating and terrifying. Many people claim they want financial freedom, but aren't willing to embrace the uncertainty that comes with it. They want the rewards of entrepreneurship with the security of employment. But as Naval says, free people make free choices. Free choices mean you get to make mistakes. If there's no cost to being wrong, you'll never come to the right answer. This is where most people get stuck. They want the upside without the downside. They want certainty before they begin. But wealth creation doesn't work that way. What if, instead of seeking perfect certainty, you embraced calculated risks? What if you started building your specific knowledge and experimenting with leverage, even while keeping your day job? Let me share something that changed my perspective completely. Naval says, play long-term games with long-term people. Most people optimize for the short term. The quick promotion, the salary bump, the immediate gratification. But real wealth comes from compound interest, not just in money, but in relationships, knowledge, and reputation. Imagine building a skill that compounds over decades, or relationships with brilliant people who grow alongside you, or a reputation for integrity that opens doors you can't even see right now. The difference between short-term and long-term thinking isn't just a few extra years of planning. It's an entirely different approach to life that leads to completely different outcomes. Here's where things get really interesting. While most wealth advice focuses solely on money, Naval integrates wealth and happiness as inseparable pursuits. Because what's the point of being rich if you're miserable? He defines true wealth as having freedom. Freedom of time, location, and choice. Money is how we transfer wealth. Money is social credits. It is the ability to have credits and debits of other people's time. Think about that for a moment. Money isn't just numbers in an account. It's stored optionality. It's the ability to direct human energy and creativity toward what you value. When you have money, you're not just buying things, you're buying freedom. But here's the paradox. The single-minded pursuit of money often leads away from wealth. True wealth comes from owning equity and assets that compound over time. Businesses, investments, intellectual property, while maintaining your independence and peace of mind. As Naval puts it, seek wealth, not money or status. Wealth is having assets that earn while you sleep. Money is how we transfer time and wealth. Status is your place in the social hierarchy. Most people are unconsciously chasing status rather than wealth. They want the fancy title, the premium brand, the social validation. But status is a zero-sum game. For you to move up, someone else must move down. Wealth creation, by contrast, is positive sum. You can create wealth without taking it from anyone else. Let me ask you something. When you imagine being wealthy, what do you picture? Is it the external trappings, the car, the house, the recognition? Or is it the freedom to wake up without an alarm, work on what fascinates you, and spend time with people you love? If it's the latter, you're seeking true wealth. And that kind of wealth comes from creating value, not extracting it. Now, let's get practical. How do you actually apply these principles to your life? Naval offers a counterintuitive approach. Focus on learning broadly, not deeply in the beginning. The modern world rewards synthesizers, people who can connect ideas across disciplines. The most valuable specific knowledge often lives at the intersection of fields. The designer who understands psychology, the programmer who understands business, the writer who understands science. This broad learning creates unique combinations that become your specific knowledge. And in a world where AI can increasingly handle specialized tasks, being able to connect dots across domains becomes invaluable. But broad learning doesn't mean shallow learning. It means developing what Naval calls foundational skills: reading, writing, speaking, mathematics, persuasion, computing, and personal psychology. These skills apply across nearly every domain and strengthen everything you do. Here's something even more provocative. Naval suggests that retirement is an outdated concept, not because we should work forever, but because work itself should evolve into something we'd do, even if we didn't need the money. Find a job where you get paid to be authentic, he says. When your work aligns with your natural talents and interests, the boundary between work and play dissolves. You're not working to escape work. You're working because it's fulfilling. This might sound idealistic, but it's actually the most practical approach to modern career building. In a world where technology is constantly reshaping industries, the only sustainable advantage is doing something you care enough about to continuously reinvent. And this brings us to one of Naval's most powerful insights. Happiness is a skill, not an outcome. Many of us have been conditioned to believe that happiness comes after achievement. I'll be happy when I get the promotion, find the relationship, reach the milestone. But this approach guarantees unhappiness because there's always another goal after the current one. Instead, Naval suggests that happiness is the state when nothing is missing. It's not about adding more, it's about desiring less. This doesn't mean settling or lacking ambition. It means understanding that happiness is generated internally through practices like gratitude, meditation, exercise, and healthy relationships, not externally through acquisition and achievement. When you build the skill of happiness, success becomes more likely because you're operating from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. You make better decisions. You attract better opportunities. You build deeper relationships. What if you flip the traditional success formula? Instead of achievement leading to happiness, what if happiness leads to achievement? Now, let's address the elephant in the room: luck. We've all seen people who seem to have every advantage yet achieve little, and others who overcome incredible odds to succeed. What's the difference? Naval breaks down luck into 4 types: blind luck, completely random; luck from hustling, generating opportunities; luck from preparation, being able to seize opportunities; and luck from your unique character, becoming the kind of person who attracts opportunities. You can't control blind luck, but you can maximize the other 3 types. By working hard, developing skills, and building a reputation for integrity and competence, you create your own luck surface area, the space where opportunities are likely to find you. As Naval says, become the best in the world at what you do. Keep redefining what you do until this is true. This isn't about grandiose ambition. It's about continually narrowing your focus until you find a niche where your specific knowledge gives you a legitimate edge. Maybe you're not the best programmer in the world, but you might be the best programmer who understands healthcare regulations. Or maybe you're not the best writer, but you're the best at explaining complex scientific concepts to children. These specific combinations create opportunities that seem like luck to observers, but are actually the result of deliberate positioning. There's something profoundly liberating about Naval's approach to wealth and happiness. It's not about competing directly with others or following predetermined paths. It's about leveraging your uniqueness in a world that increasingly rewards authenticity and specialized knowledge. But I have to warn you, applying these principles requires comfort with uncertainty. There's no step-by-step formula, because your path will be uniquely yours, built on your specific knowledge, leveraged in your unique way, guided by your judgment. Let me share a personal reflection that might resonate with you. For years, I chased conventional success markers: the credentials, the title, the salary. I optimized for what looked impressive rather than what genuinely interested me. And while I checked all the boxes, something was missing. When I encountered Naval's ideas, I realized I had been playing someone else's game. I was climbing a ladder without questioning whether it was leaning against the right wall. The shift began when I started asking different questions. What do I know that others don't? How can I create value at scale? What would I do even if I weren't paid for it? These questions led me to combine skills I had developed separately, explaining complex ideas, storytelling, and pattern recognition across disciplines. None of these skills alone was particularly remarkable, but the combination created opportunities I couldn't have planned for. This is the essence of Naval's wealth framework: finding your unique combination of skills, applying leverage to scale your impact, and using good judgment to navigate uncertainty. But perhaps the most valuable insight I've gained from Naval is this: wealth and happiness aren't separate pursuits. They're integrated aspects of a well-lived life. By seeking wealth in a way that aligns with your authentic self, you're more likely to find both financial freedom and personal fulfillment. As Naval puts it, the purpose of wealth is freedom. It's nothing more than that. It's not to buy fur coats or drive Ferraris or sail yachts or jet around the world in a Gulfstream. That stuff gets really boring and really stupid really fast. It's about being your own sovereign individual. This sovereignty, this freedom to direct your life according to your values, is the ultimate form of wealth, and it's available to anyone willing to think differently about how wealth is created in the modern world. So where do you go from here? How do you apply these principles to your own life? Start by inventorying your specific knowledge. What do you know that's not easy to teach? What skills come naturally to you? What do people consistently ask for your help with? Then look for ways to apply leverage. How can you create once and distribute many times? Can you code, write, record, or build something that scales without requiring more of your time? And finally, work on your judgment. Read widely. Study decisions and their consequences. Develop mental models that help you understand how the world works. This journey isn't about quick wins or overnight success. It's about setting in motion forces that compound over time, knowledge that builds on itself, relationships that deepen with trust, assets that grow while you sleep. The most powerful aspect of Naval's philosophy is that it aligns your self-interest with creating genuine value. You're not trying to extract wealth from the world. You're trying to add wealth to it. And in doing so, you claim your fair share. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with perhaps the most important insight from Naval. All the real benefits in life come from compound interest, the habits you build today. Reading, learning, creating, investing may not show results immediately, but over years and decades, they create exponential returns that seem magical to those who haven't been paying attention. The question is, what are you willing to do today that most people aren't, so you can have what most people won't tomorrow? If this perspective resonates with you, you're already ahead of 99% of people. You understand that wealth creation in the modern world isn't about working harder. It's about working differently. It's about leveraging your uniqueness rather than competing on standardized metrics. And if you found value in these insights, do two things. First, revisit this video when you need a reminder of these principles. The path to wealth isn't linear, and you'll face moments of doubt when conventional wisdom tempts you back to the beaten path. Second, share this with someone who needs to hear it. True wealth isn't a zero-sum game, and by sharing these ideas, you're helping create a world where more people build wealth through value creation rather than value extraction. The choice is yours. Continue on the path most travel, trading time for money until you run out of time, or start building something that grows even when you're not working. Start creating wealth that gives you freedom, not just income. What will you choose?